Good afternoon from Madrid. I'm here with Italian journalist Davide Palliggiano from
Hi.
Corriere dello Sport. And as you can see, we're in front of the Santiago Bernabeu. We're going to talk about the Champions League. Who's the favorite? Who's going to go through? Let's talk about it. Group A, we have PSG, Real Madrid, Club Brugge, and Galatasaray. So, two clear favorites. Do you see any surprises in this group?
Actually, I don't. I don't see any possible surprise. I think that they'll Paris Saint-Germain and Real Madrid, they will just go through, and there's no option for the other two teams to reach the second phase of the Champions League. So they just have to choose which one will be the first. We will see if Real Madrid or PSG. It's not easy because Real Madrid really takes care of Champions League, and PSG really want to win the Champions League. They still have to win the Champions League in their story. So it will be a nice and tough match.
And Real Madrid, Zinedine Zidane on paper, Real Madrid are favorites to win the Champions League. Every time he's led Real Madrid in the tournament, they've won it. So is it the case?
I don't think so. Actually, I don't think so. I don't think that will be. They have such good team to win again the Champions League. It's still the same team, almost the same team that last year didn't make so good things. So I think they have Champions League this year. They are the strongest team because I see Manchester City this year, Barcelona. They still have Liverpool, Juventus. Don't forget Juventus. Actually, in this moment of the season, I prefer them. I think they are stronger than Real Madrid. But you never know.
And exciting for Real Madrid fans. Obviously, they'll get to see possibly the future Galactico Mbappe playing here in the Bernabeu. What about PSG? Obviously they've changed a little bit their strategy as a club. They always seem to go for the big star, the big name. Without the idea of how he actually will feature in the team. But this year, they've signed some wiser signings. No, Sarabia from La Liga, one of the best midfielders last year. Herrera, decent midfielder as well, coming from the Premier League.
That's true. That's a different Paris Saint-Germain this year. I mean, let's see what happened with Neymar in the last days. If he remains, if he still play for Paris Saint-Germain, well, it will be a different team because Neymar, obviously he was often injured. He had some problems. We all know his situation, but he's still a world-class player. So if Neymar arrives to the most important phases, quarterfinals, semifinals, then he could be really the player who could change a match. And that can how can you say
make the difference.
Make the difference, exactly.
But is he going to arrive? Because in the last 4 seasons in a row, he's been injured come March, April.
So that's incognita. That's a big incognita.
And without him, let's say Neymar moves to Barcelona, do you still fancy PSG, or they won't have enough?
It depends by Mbappe. If Mbappe decides that this year, the next year, he wants to win the Golden Ball, then it's okay. Then they can. But he has to. He also asks for more responsibility to their club, and so this is the year where Mbappe needs to demonstrate to prove what he's worth.
Okay, so how do you see the group? Who's first, second, third, and fourth? Real Madrid, top spot?
Let's say Real Madrid. Yes,
Real
just
Madrid
because
first?
they in the first match, they want Paris Saint-Germain. They won't have probably Cavani and almost surely Mbappe. So maybe Real Madrid could win the first match in Paris, and it's 3 points. They're not few in a group stage. So.
Okay.
I think Real Madrid
leaders, Paris second. Who's going into the Europa League? Bruges or Galatasaray? We haven't talked about Galatasaray. They obviously, their stadium, the atmosphere, but they have some interesting players there. Steven Zonzi.
Well, he comes from a very, very, very bad season in Rome. So I think the curiosity is about Serie.
Serie as well.
It depends also because if in the last days they sign Falcao, well, that would be a nice team.
Ryan Babel, he's an international. Whatever we can say about.
He's an international, but in Champions League is another game.
But do you think they'll have enough for Europa League at least for a third spot?
I think so.
Group B: Bayern Munich, Tottenham, Olympiacos, and Red Star Belgrade. So here, obviously, the big favorite, Bayern Munich. A lot of people are speculating these last few days that it's not the same Bayern. They're weaker without Robben and Ribéry playing. But I actually think they are a refreshed Bayern that could surprise a lot of people.
Yes, I agree because they signed Coutinho, and we all hope, all the people that loves. You said it was a nice day. It's just raining right now.
Despite the rain, we continue.
Yes.
So yeah, Bayern Munich. They're fresher for me. Do you agree? They have obviously Gnabry, have Coutinho as well.
Coman. They have a lot of really talented players, and they still have one of the best scorer in the world. That's Robert Lewandowski. So they still have Müller. They still have a lot of great players. They have Lucas Hernandez in defense. Pavard. They have a really strong team. Well, that will be a different Bayern Munich, I guess. So I'm really curious to see what's going on of course, in Champions League, because in Bundesliga it's, just Borussia Dortmund can compete with them. So let's see what happens in Champions League. I'm curious.
And Tottenham, they went to the final last year. They overachieved, obviously, with the squad, but Daniel Levy finally opened his wallet and brought some players this summer.
That's true, and they brought really good players. Overall, I think Ndombele, I really like that player in the midfield. So I think it's they could be better in Premier League a little bit, and in Champions League is really difficult to arrive again to the final. I mean, it's last year they were the underdogs, and then they almost won the Champions League. So this year it will be very difficult with Real Madrid, with Barcelona, with Juventus. That I don't think they will have many chances to get there. To go to Istanbul.
Their starting 11 is solid, but if you go further and look at their squad, maybe it's not deep enough to go all the way. And obviously they could lose Eriksen now to the transfer market.
Exactly.
And what about Olympiacos and Red Star? Atmosphere?
Atmosphere is really amazing over there in Greece, in Serbia, but I don't think they have many chances to pass the group
last year, as you've been there, you watched the game, right?
I watched the game I watched how the Red Star game plays. It's not Guardiola. It's not Guardiola style, of course, but the atmosphere there is strange. It's not like an Argentinian stadium, because it's the Maracanã Belgrade is an old school stadium. But I don't know what happens over there. It's something magic. Let's say magic. Napoli had a tie with them. Liverpool lost their match. So for nobody is easy playing there.
Okay. So do you see the group finishing the same way? Bayern Munich first, Tottenham second.
Yes.
And maybe Red Star?
Olympiacos. I think Olympiacos.
For the third spot. Group C, Man City, Shakhtar, Dinamo, and Atalanta. How is Man City getting an easy draw every year for the past 4 or 5 years?
Well, probably they have luck just with the draws. But when we see what happened last year, they were so lucky, especially with against Tottenham in the end because of the VAR, So with the draw, a draw is a lottery. I think they are going to complete their group with 18 points.
They kept their squad from last season. They added Rodri, João Cancelo, considered one of the top right backs in Europe. So a lot of people are wondering why Juventus let him go.
Because I think Sarri needed a different player. Cancelo is a wonderful attacking player. They used to play right back in the last season, but I don't think he's a right back. In my opinion, he could play also like forward, like a wing, attacking wing. But maybe in 2 years in Italy, he didn't understand how to defend, and defending in Guardiola style is totally different. It's totally different. You have to be more attacking. It's always attacking team. Guardiola's team.
Do you think they will prioritize Champions League this year? Because they've been winning the Premier League 2 years in a row.
I think so. It's gonna be a kind of a nightmare for them, also for Paris Saint-Germain, of course. And I think they will prioritize Champions League a little bit. I think so. But I don't know if maybe during the group stage, I don't know if it's possible to prioritize it because it's not a tough group. So let's see. I'm really curious because they have Atalanta in the same group.
Yes,
and
Atalanta.
It was in the fourth
pot.
But Atalanta,
maybe the toughest or the surprise package.
It could be a surprise. They play really emotional football. They have really great players in the front, like Duvan Zapata, like Muriel, like El Papu Gomez. And they will play in Milan. They will play in Bergamo. They will play in Milan in San Siro, because their stadium is too small. They still have to make some, they have to complete it. They work on it, but it's still incomplete. So, playing in San Siro with 80,000 people, maybe half the city of Bergamo will move there for their matches. It will be something sensational. And playing in San Siro is not easy for anyone. So,
of course. And with them already being solid in the Serie A, maybe they can allow themselves to really go for Europe, for Champions League, and go as far as they can. Similar to what happened with Leicester when they won the Premier League. So we don't really give any chances to the Donetsk, Shakhtar,
No, wait a minute. Shakhtar Donetsk is a really good team. It's a really good team. They play a good
they're
football.
In pot 2 for a reason.
They're an expert team.
Yeah.
With a lot of experience. So I know it won't be easy for Atalanta. I mean, Atalanta could be a surprise, but if I can say who is going to pass the group, I would say actually Man City and Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah.
I don't see any chances for. I don't see many chances for Dinamo Zagreb, for Atalanta, obviously.
Yeah,
but Atalanta
Dinamo, they had to play a qualifying round to get in the Champions League.
They still have Dani Olmo.
Yeah.
That was one of the most incredible surprise of the Euro Cup under 21.
Sure.
I don't think they are an incredible team that can beat Shakhtar, Atalanta in Man City and going through the second phase.
So you're saying City first, Shakhtar second, Atalanta third, and Dinamo fourth?
No, I say Man City, Atalanta, then Shakhtar.
I agree.
Let's see.
I agree. I think it's the second place is up for grabs. Atalanta can definitely surprise a few people.
Yes.
Group D, we have the old friends Juventus and Atletico, Leverkusen and Lokomotiv Moscow. Juventus and Atletico met in the quarterfinals last year. Big
with
game.
Famous
remontada, controversy, Ronaldo, Simeone grabbing
his jewels.
A few things, his jewels. But it's a new Atletico, right?
It's a new Atletico and it's a new Juventus, don't forget it, because now they have a new coach, now they have Sarri. Well,
how do you think this experiment is going to work? Because you saw what happened with him in the Premier League. There was a lot of controversy, a lot of conflict between the fans and the new style of play. They didn't really let him establish his philosophy. Is he going to get the time to do that in Juve?
I think so. Not in the beginning, because it needs time and needs players, and they have a great squad. Juventus has a great squad. I think they will play a great football. Well, probably not so beautiful like the one he showed with Napoli, because it was a really amazing football one with Napoli, but they had different players, and you cannot ask to Ronaldo the same thing that you ask to Insigne, of course, or to Mertens or to Callejon. So it will be a fluid football. It will be a spectacular football, but don't expect to watch a match of Juventus and watch a match of Manchester City. They won't be the same. I mean,
they added Ramsey and Rabiot in the midfield.
They still have Pjanic, Matuidi. They have a great squad. They have a
top
great
players.
squad.
Do you see him featuring, or is he going to be maybe one for the future, slowly coming into the first 11?
I think in few months he will be part of the team.
And of course the veteran Buffon coming back, maybe last goal
he came back just
for the Champions League.
He came back just for one reason. He came back, he needs just 8 caps to reach Maldini, was the player with more caps in Italy, in Serie A. So he came just for that reason.
For another
Szczesny
big
will
reason,
play the Champions League. You say
the Champions League?
It could be, but I don't think he will play in Champions League. Maybe few matches.
Yeah.
Szczesny will be the main first choice. But it could be, of course, it's a nice story. He came back home and he left Paris came back home. Well, he didn't choose the number 1 on this jersey. Mm-hmm. He has the number 77. That was the number that he had in Parma before to go to Juventus. That's also a nice story to tell.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's going to win at 41.
Atletico, a refreshed Atletico, a lot of new signings. Obviously, Mario Hermoso, Felipe, Trippier. The whole defense had to be reconstructed this summer. And the big shining star, the big investment, Joao Felix. But they started La Liga, even though it's a new Atletico, like the same old Atletico.
That's true. Even if some of the new players just played with Getafe and also against Leganés. But I just have a hope for this season of Atletico that Joao Felix could shine, because he's a world-class player, he's an incredible player, and I'm just a little bit afraid that he could shine a little bit less. Sorry for my English. With Simeone, that maybe needs another coach to completely shine. Well, I hope to be wrong.
They're going to be solid for sure in the domestic league. I think for Europe they will need another season, just because of the new players. Yes, it's the same core from last year, but they made a lot of changes, and it will take time for them to be solid in Europe.
Sure.
Leverkusen, also great team from the Bundesliga.
Yeah, they have a wonderful player. They have just one wonderful player. Havertz is a really talented player, but I don't think I think they will go to Europa League.
Yeah.
Because Atletico and Juventus, actually, they are.
Loco Moscow, not many chances maybe for them. They look like the weakest team in the group. So who's winning the group for you? Juventus or Atletico?
Juventus. Atletico,
too much.
Then Leverkusen and Lokomotiv Moscow. I think Juventus will win.
Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree with us? Who's going to win the battle between PSG and Real Madrid in Group A? Can Tottenham replicate what they did last season? Is Man City going to go all the way? And Juventus and Atletico, who will go on top? Look out for the video next week. We're going to be discussing groups E through H. If there's no rain, of course. Till next time.
Oh, cazzo!